श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुत्पदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं सदात्वितं साद्वभूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् सगण ललिता श्री विशाखा निवेदितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्ते तप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वांछा कल्पातरु कृपा सिंधु एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्री चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवसादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we had read 29,
31. 31 से
31. So let me read it.
हम्म,
स्वधर्मपि चावेक्ष न विकम्पित्वमर्हस्ति धर्म धर्मादि युद्धाश्रेयो न क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते. Considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles, and so there is no need for hesitation. Purport. Out of the four orders of social administration, the second order for the matter of good administration is called Kshatriya. Shat means hurt. One who gives protection from harm is called Kshatriya. Trayate, to give protection. The Kshatriya are trained for killing in the forest. A Kshatriya would go into the forest and challenge a tiger face to face and fight with the tiger with his sword. When the tiger was killed, it would be offered royal order of cremation. This system has been followed even up to the present day by the Kshatriya kings of Jaipur state. The Kshatriyas are especially trained for challenging and killing because religious violence is sometimes a necessary factor. Therefore, Kshatriyas are never meant for accepting directly the order of sannyas or renunciation. Non-violence in the politics may be a diplomacy, but it is never a factor or a principle. In the religious law book, it is stated, yeah, this is a Sanskrit shloka, in the battlefield, a king or Kshatriya while fighting another king envious of him is eligible for achieving heavenly planets after death. And as the Brahman also attained the heavenly planets by sacrificing animals in the sacrificial fire. Therefore, killing on the battlefield on religious principles and killing animals in the sacrificial fires are not at all considered to be acts of violence because everyone is benefited by the religious principles involved. The animal is sacrificed, gets a human life immediately without undergoing the gradual evolutionary process from one form to another. And the Kshatriya killed on the battlefield also attains the heavenly planets, as do the Brahmanas who attain them by offering sacrifice. There are two kinds of swadharmas, specific duties. As long as one is not liberated, one has to perform the duties of his particular body in accordance with the religious principles in order to achieve liberation. When one is liberated, one's swadharma specific duty becomes spiritual and is not in the material bodily concept. In the bodily concept of life, there are specific duties for Brahmanas and Kshatriyas respectively, and such duties are unavoidable. Swadharma is ordained by the Lord, and this will be clarified in the fourth chapter. On the bodily plane, Swadharma is called Varnashram Dharma or man's stepping stone for spiritual understanding. Human civilization begins from the stage of Varnashram Dharma or the specific duties in terms of the specific modes of nature of the bodily obtained. Discharging one's specific duty in any field of action in accordance with the order of higher authorities serves to elevate one to the higher status of life. I think you know here what is happening is that Prabhupada is writing this full purport to explain the skeptics about the violence to animals and the non-violence as such. You see, because he is trying to say that the animal killing in Vedic system was a, a particular way of animal sacrifice, not indiscriminate killing of animals, which later on came to be accepted norm for slaughtering the animals for eating purposes. See, then one purpose of this purport is this. Second purpose is also that this kind of non-violence, which was prevalent in his time, as a political weapon, in India's struggle or otherwise also, he said that this is all bogus. You know that for religious duty, violence is and must be resorted to when when a, 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 a kshatriya or is challenged by a person who has wronged him, then it is his duty to fight, not to run away. You see, this is what, and moreover, you see, I think the whole underlying thing is that of the karma yoga also is that you cannot run away from doing your duty.
I
I
think
think
that's what the main,
this is the running theme.
uh, this is
कि
the what is, I
वर्णाश्रम
think,
धर्म की भी क्रम है they have defined duties in varnashram dharma. In various ashrams, it has already been defined that in brahmacharya you will follow the guru, you will serve the guru and his wife. His wife you will consider your mother. You will go and get alms, you will beg and bring whatever you get and give it to the guru. And after the guru has taken food, then if you are offered, then you will take it. Otherwise, you will sleep hungry. So these are the duties defined. Grahastha also,
mm,
Grahastha also, they had defined duties. Yeah, how you should conceive children, why should you should conceive children, all that thing.
mm,
So I think that is the main thing. Here, of course, he is saying that Arjun, why you have to fight, you have to do your duty here. You can't run away. Next, तुम पढ़ो.
okay. Yeah, I
If
wanted
you,
to say,
hmm.
what I wanted to add was कि भाई, the swadharma is very important in this one.
हाँ अच्छा.
Swadharma is one's own religious principle. So actually, one way or the other, na, as you said, you have to do your specific duty. And actually, right now, that is what is problematic. What has become problematic in the society is people are not doing their specific duties. They have become, first of all they became disconnected from God, from religious principles. Now they have become so selfish that they don't even want to do any duty, not even towards their children, not even towards their, they want to do only sense gratification. And that is what is leading to the collapse of the society. That is why I think I really, in this one, I think that's why he said ki bhai, what is our dharma, wherever you are, you have to do your duty, and which means sacrifice. And you are right, it's a running theme. So that is why. Otherwise, you will very quickly, you will see, you will very quickly devolve from a civilized society to a completely uncivilized society. You will become you will become animalistic very fast. You will become animalistic if you don't adhere to some sort of a duties, some sort of a principle. And also, the duties have to come from a higher authority. somebody who is realized, somebody who is in connection with God. If you don't accept those duties, those sacrifices, you will become animalistic very, very fast. You become animalistic. Totally, you will become devolved, degenerated. Yeah. And I think that is another reason by Lord Krishna, by imparting this knowledge to Arjun, he is also trying, because Arjun is an example to be followed. Of course, Lord Krishna is the supreme example to be followed, but Arjun is also an accomplished person, so his example will be followed. If he does not fight here, and if he does not follow the
Oh,
religious
that is another
principles,
thing. Yeah,
that
that
will
is
be
an.
another disaster for the society, actually, though, if had he not followed it, then he would have also incurred the punishment from God. Because if you don't
No, no,
follow the
not only
duty,
he
God
would,
has to punish you. Has to punish you.
he would
Otherwise,
have been punished, and all his relatives, all his brothers, all they would
would
have
have
had
been
to
punished.
fight. They would have had to fight.
Yes,
They could not have run away.
yes.
You see,
So
and then
you
Kanama, that
the
it would.
Acha, what the teaching for us is, at least for us
Hmm.
is, if you don't follow your prescribed duty, if you don't, then you will get punishment. First of all, you will start becoming degenerate, and you will devolving, and you will incur punishment. You have to uphold
And
duties.
actually, you see, if you look at the issue very deeply, you see why people do not want to do their duty, because it is hard.
It is
They
hard.
want,
It is
they
hard.
want to, they want easy way out of life.
Yes,
You
yes,
see, it is difficult. Nowadays,
it's
people
difficult.
have become so much deeply engrossed in sense gratification
Yes,
that
selfish,
they do
deeply
not
selfish.
want to do any tapasya, any
No.
sacrifice. No,
No, actually, though it has become, now they are writing laws so you don't have to do tapasya. The laws are meant that your happiness is your right. See how devolved it has become. You have a right to do this, you have a right to do that. Oh, bhaiya, you have no rights. You have rights
you have no
only
rights.
by
Actually,
you have no rights.
you have only duties. Yes,
You have duties only. You don't have rights, you have duties.
rights. So the rights actually, Kanama, is the basis of sakam karma.
Hmm,
You see,
exactly. Okay, I have done this, now there is my right, I will get
it
this
is my
result.
right. This I am born in this country, so I'm a
I
rightful
have a
owner of
right.
these things. Chalo,
You're
next
absolutely right.
32.
Yes, 2032.
Ah,
Yadrachyachopapanam swargadvaram apavritam sukhinah kshatriyah partha labhante yuddham idrisham. O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planets. Purport. As supreme teacher of the world, Lord Krishna condemns the attitude of Arjun, who said, I do not find any good in this fighting. It will cause perpetual habitation in hell. Such statements by Arjun were due to ignorance only. He wanted to become non-violent in the discharge of his specific duty. For a Kshatriya to be on the battlefield and to become non-violent is the philosophy of fools. For example, like Gandhi, in the Parashara Smriti that I have added, in the Parashara Smriti or religious codes made by Parashara, the great sage and father of Vyasdev, it is stated, Kshatriyo hi praja rakshan, Shastra pani pradandayan, Nirjita para sanyadi, Shittim dharmena palayet. The Kshatriya's duty is to protect the citizens from all kinds of difficulties, and for that reason, he has to apply violence in suitable cases for law and order. Therefore, he has to conquer the soldiers of inimical kings, and thus, with religious principles, he should rule over the world. Considering all aspects, Arjun had no reason to refrain from fighting. If he should conquer his enemies, he would enjoy the kingdom, and if he should die in the battle, he would be elevated to the heavenly planets, whose doors were wide open to him. Fighting would be for his benefit in either case. You see, this is actually, it is a very big indictment on the sad state of affairs that we had. You see, actually, you see, if you look at it very closely, non-violence does not serve a purpose when you have to establish law and order. When you have to establish law and order, then in the animal kingdom, it is complete chaos. In a civilized society, you have to establish law and order. Law and order can only be established by a threat of violence. It cannot be established by non-violence nonsense. You can keep doing
Oh
non-violence, the
yes,
other
yes.
person will keep.
The police and military is a form of a violence
Yes,
by the ruler.
yes. But otherwise, if you go to the judges, why do you listen to a judge? Because there is a state machinery behind him, which is the violent, which will take violent action against you.
Yeah, yes.
Otherwise,
It is the
this
core is the violence
non-violence,
only. Core is
yes,
violence only. Yes.
yes. But it is justified. The difference between it is
It is
sanctioned
the
and
say
justified.
say for example the he does not incur sin. The policeman does not
Yes,
incur sin because
yes,
the army guy at the front he does not
yes.
incur a sin
And
if he fires a bullet
yes.
because he is obeying a higher authority.
Higher authority. It is sanctioned. Violence that
Ah,
is sanctioned by the Lord, by the society which is governed by laws provided by God. Otherwise, to you have total chaos. तो non-violence में तो yeah. So
not only that, there is a hidden thing in that. For Arjun, you see, he was being extorted by Lord to do his duty. Similarly, there is a great benefit and dignity in doing your duty, everyone. You see, when we were reading that Karma Yoga chapter, all the time he says, do your duty. He says, you do all this and then do your duty. Fight, fight
right,
everywhere. You see, because
yes,
you are on the right, and I am telling you.
exactly.
Next, I will read it.
Next,
Text
read it.
33. अथ चेत्त्वमिमं धम्यर संगामं न करिष्यसि ततः स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च हित्वा पापवाप्स्यसि. If, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties
देखा ना?
and
He
thus
said.
lose your reputation as a
See.
fighter.
See, this is what we were discussing few minutes ago. If Arjun were not to fight, he would incur sins and he would lose his reputation as a fighter. It will
Fighter.
cause chaos in the society. Bhai. It will, everybody will start following his example. So he will have to incur sin. He will
Nay,
have to
that
incur
means
sin.
what? That you see, if he does that, that he would have encouraged that
Others also.
irreligious and the demoniac forces to rule. You
Rule.
know, if he runs
Yes.
away, है ना?
Yes.
Arjun was a famous fighter and he attained fame by fighting many great demigods, including even Lord Shiva. After fighting and defeating Lord Shiva in dress of hunter, Arjun pleased Arjuna pleased the Lord and received as a reward a weapon called Pashpati Astra. Everyone knew that he was a great warrior. Even Dronacharya gave him the benediction and awarded him a special weapon by which he could kill even his teacher. So he was credited with so many military certificates from many authorities, including his adoptive father Indra, the heavenly king. But if he abandoned the battle, not only would he neglect his specific duty as a Kshatriya, but he will lose all his fame and good name and thus prepare his royal road to hell. In other words, he would go to hell not by fighting, but by withdrawing from the battle.
See, another very big thing. See, Arjun, see, this principle applies to all of us. If, however, you do not perform your religious
Ah,
duty, then you will incur sins. This is applicable to every living entity, whether you are a father, whether you are a mother, whether you are a, you have to do your religious duty. Otherwise, you will incur sins and you will incur sins. Acha bhai, जैसे for instance in America, you see, there's a lot of huge fatherlessness is the problem. Fatherlessness, that means all those fathers who have abandoned their children, they are incurring
incurring a
sin.
sin.
They are incurring a sins. They are going to be held
No,
responsible for
you say
the
because why?
society,
You
the
see,
world occurs.
yeah, yeah, their
Similarly,
mothers,
the mothers who are having
mothers
the
is a
mothers,
separate issue.
they will
वो तो है ही है.
they will also incur sins. And they are
But the
having
father will
children
also
out of it.
incur sin.
Father
Who
will
have
also incur sins for
after
abandoning
divorce,
the child.
if they have abandoned their children and they do
They
not,
will.
they
If
will.
you don't perform your religious duty, you will incur sins. You will incur sins. That much is for sure. Whether it is in the case of Arjun or if it's in the case of parents, it is in the case of वो तो बिल्कुल पक्का है in the family unit if you because that is what is happening in the society. But because of your selfish reasons, you are abandoning people are abandoning their children. You will incur sins. Or या फिर or the state government is not allowing you to become a to discharge your duties, then the state government will be incurring sins. When you are forcing well, all this. Yeah, नहीं, ये जो American society has they have they have created such a system where fathers are separated from their mothers from the children. You are going to incur sins. You are definitely all this abortions, you've legalized all this abortion, your society will incur sins. There's no question about it. Okay,
34th.
34.
Hmm,
I
hmm,
will read it. 34.
hmm.
Akirtim chapi bhutani तथा यिष्यन्ति ते व्ययम् संभावित तस्य चकीर्तिर मरणाद अतिरिच्यते. People will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. Purport. Both as friend and philosopher to Arjun, Lord Krishna now gives his final judgment regarding Arjun's refusal to fight. The Lord says, Arjun, if you leave the battlefield before the battle even begins, people will call you a coward. And if you think that people may call you bad names, but that you will save your life by fleeing the battlefield, then my advice is that you did do better to die in the battle. For a respectable man like you, ill fame is worse than death. So you should not flee for fear of your life. Better to die in the battle. That will save you from the ill fame of misusing my friendship and from losing your prestige in society. Read that again. So you should not flee from for fear of your life. Better to die in the battle. That will save you from the ill fame of misusing my friendship and from losing your prestige in society.
ये क्या
So the
मतलब
final
what
judgment.
is the meaning? हाँ, अच्छा, चलो चलो, हाँ,
By
पढ़ लो पहले
actually
ला.
you see Arjun is Lord Krishna's friend, right?
Friend.
And now if Arjun in the presence of Lord he does such cowardice act, he will be and he will use Lord as a justification also. कि I spoke to Lord and I got justification also for my cowardice.
Misuse of
Then
friendship.
you are misusing the friendship of the Lord, right?
Hmm,
You are misusing
hmm,
your. For instance,
hmm.
in the present time, let's say you are supposedly a very pious person, or at least everybody is looking at you as a pious person, but you misuse that. You do all sorts of nonsense under the garb of a saffron clothes, under the garb of this. Then you are misusing that position. Then
हाँ.
you will incur very great sins. For example, all these sadhus and ये the false pretenders under the garb of, oh, I am a very pious person, I am wearing these saffron clothes, but you are doing all sorts of nonsense. Then you are misusing that position. That's what I read. That's how I read it.
Hmm, 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 hmm.
So the final judgment of the Lord was for Arjun to die in the battle and not withdraw. That is what us for all of us. Bhaiya, you do your prescribed duties. You may fail. Society may cause all sorts of trouble for you, but you still do your duty. At least you will not incur sin. Let the society incur sins, but at least you will not
Yeah, you
incur sin.
see, I see some streak here. You see, before certain verses, Lord was convincing Arjun on the point of soul and body. That because
Hmm.
soul is invincible, so there
Hmm.
is no point that you should lament for a soul. The person karma will die, it is only his body dies. But now he is trying to convince him on the kind of a material platform.
Hmm.
Why,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
see,
Sin. Hmm.
you see,
Duty,
he is
sin.
that you will lose your prestige, you will lose. These are some kind of
Yes.
material things.
Yes.
है ना?
Yes. But
The Lord is even
we were
convincing
right.
him.
Convincing on that level also, or the body level also. Body,
Ah,
prestige.
so
Yeah.
earlier he tried to convince him on the soul level. I think Karama,
Yes.
that is what he
Yes.
is
Very
doing.
nice. Yes,
Eh?
you are absolutely right. I agree with you. Yes.
35th. भयाद्रणादुपरतं मंस्यते त्वां महारथा येषां च त्वं बहुमतो भूत्वा यास्यसि लाघवम्. The great general who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant. Lord Krishna continues to give his verdict to Arjun. Do not think that the great generals like Duryanachar, Karna, and other contemporaries will think that you have left the battlefield out of compassion for your brothers and grandfather. They will think that you have left out of fear for your life, and thus their high estimation of your personality will go to hell. देखो, I think Ramayana, he again, once again, he is trying to convince him कि भाई, you
And
see, even if you will remain alive, so some kind of bodily conception which you are getting into. But he is not convincing him on that front. He is saying that you will lose your reputation. These guys will
reputation.
laugh behind you.
They will laugh. They on your face. They will laugh. They will
Ah,
laugh at you. Similarly, by for us also, for people like, I mean, you can
no.
only
You
become
see, Karama
honorable
doing
by doing duty.
don't think that Karama by running away from your duty, you whatever convincing reason you give yourself, or you try to convince others will say that you
You
abandoned
abandon
the battlefield.
battlefield.
This
You
life
have
is a
to.
battlefield. Eh?
Yes, you have to lead a
Really,
honorable.
Ah,
Yes. Yes.
there is one more thing.
ah.
Hmm.
Generally people think that if we are involving in worldly duties, we are not able to perform spiritual duty. But this is not the case. In world,
Hmm.
we can do both because
Hmm.
Oh
actually,
yes. This is what. Yes, very
Hmm.
right. Ah.
really the important thing is what is the purpose. And generally in our worldly life also, suppose we are living here, we are having 24 hours, fine. Suppose we can get at least 2 to 3 hours for this worship and all that. And that is more than enough if we are doing it honestly.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Actually, Buaji, Mosi, what you have said is very, actually, what you have expressed, that is what Srila Prabhupada says. We have to dovetail our activities under
Hmm.
Lord Krishna. कि मतलब we have to see our worldly duties as spiritual. They are
Yes.
as a service to the Lord. You are
Huh.
absolutely right. That
Hmm.
your worldly duties are actually, in fact, actually as a service to the Lord. Like for
Hmm.
instance, my worldly
Yes.
duty to take care of my children, to go earn
Hmm.
a living. But Bhagwan, he has put me in this position
Hmm.
as a way to create a very good example also to serve him, to serve
Yes.
the
see,
Varnashram.
Karama, all things can be dovetailed. For
Yes.
example, if you
Hmm.
take a bath, why are you
Hmm.
taking bath?
Hmm.
To clean your body. Why are you
Hmm.
cleaning your body? So that Karama, you can remember the Lord with a freshness. मतलब
Hmm.
you want to give him respect. कि, भाई, I don't want to be to worship you and clean this state. Number two, you go to the
Hmm.
gym or you Karama, go for a walk for health. Why do you want to do that?
Hmm.
Because One thing is that I want to maintain my body so that I can live long and enjoy this sense gratification in the material world,
Hmm.
which most of the people are doing. You
Hmm.
know,
Yes.
why are they going to the gym? Gym they
Hmm.
are going so that to the impress the other sex or do some such
Hmm.
silly nonsense, है ना?
Hmm.
But if you reorient it, then
Hmm.
you are doing the same activity,
Hmm.
yet you are trying to serve the Supreme Lord.
Yeah, but
Yes.
reoriented कि भाई I have to keep my body healthy so I can
Ah,
serve God. I can
Hmm.
serve. I can do
yes.
serve His purpose.
Hmm.
I can work for
And
God.
Varun, the
Hmm.
main thing is that uh, God is saying that you perform all the worldly duties, but it should be nishkam.
The
Oh,
motivation
that
is
part.
Nishkam. The
Varun,
motivation
suppose
is serving Lord.
Varun, suppose I am going to school to teach and I am teaching there 6 hours. Suppose in the beginning I am praying to God that God, now I am going to do work for you. And
Hmm.
6 hours I am working for you, for
Yes.
making this world a better place by educating students
Yes.
properly, है ना वरुण? और फिर
Absolutely,
निस्वार्थ
Masi.
भाव
Masi.
से और निष्काम भाव से जो गॉड ने रूल्स श्री कृष्ण ने बताए हैं उनको फॉलो करते हुए हम काम करें.
भाई मौसी
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल.
you are actually में
You are
people
right on
don't
the
realize
spot.
it.
जी.
The teachers have the greatest role to play, what you have
हम्म.
just said. And
Yes.
if they take this approach, right, that
हम्म.
we have to impart, we are doing Nishkam Karam, we are doing
हम्म.
God's service by bringing up these children.
हम्म.
The teachers get like 6 8 hours with these children. They really
हम्म.
have a very deep impact on the children.
हम्म.
And as you have always said,
हम्म.
by being an example is more
हम्म.
powerful than
Yes.
actually telling them.
But
हम्म.
you
So,
see,
as you just said, your own example is very important.
once you
हम्म.
approach with this thought process, na, the
हम्म.
children will notice that this
Yes.
Hmm.
teacher is serious.
हम्म.
Hmm.
He or she has my welfare at her
Hmm.
heart. So they will develop a very different kind of respect for you.
Yes.
Whereas those teachers who are just coming to कहना मैं मतलब कि भाई अपनी many teachers come like that. You see
हम्म.
that they just come here कहना मैं as a matter of routine and ask
हम्म.
the you know it कहना मैं you know
Yes.
how
Yes,
they
yes.
are कहना मैं just so
जी.
that they can maintain their job.
जी.
But once you start doing as a matter of service for a
Yes.
higher cause,
हम्म.
then the children will definitely notice it that
हम्म.
Yes.
you are different. They will have very different
Yes.
respect,
You,
and
हम्म.
they will have very deep impact. They
हम्म.
will
very
have
deep.
you will start getting the pleasure out of doing this kind of service.
Yes.
Nishkam karm will start giving you the because it will be like a reward from the supreme lord.
हम्म.
For instance, I can always see actually the
हम्म.
scientists of 1800, 1700,
हम्म.
they were not just doing science and math,
हम्म.
they were amazed by how God has set up this thing, how
हाँ.
they were looking at the glory of God. Like, for instance, कि भाई, why does light bend like this? Why
हम्म.
does this act? They were not just, they were looking at what is the God's thoughts
Cause behind
behind it.
everything.
हम्म.
What is the God's plan? Like, for instance, Albert Einstein a very famous statement, I just want to know the thoughts of God, the rest
हम्म.
are all details. See, that's
हम्म.
how religious they were. So like that can come through a teacher, that look, this whatever you are learning, look at
हम्म.
how God is playing. Like this morning me and dad we were discussing, you
हम्म.
can see the beauty of God even in flower, like how
हम्म.
God is playing with form, how God is playing with colors.
नहीं
You
भाई
know,
I am
everything
amazed कि आप
is.
एक you cut a tomato, you take a slice of
Hmm,
tomato, so beautiful यार inside.
hmm.
हाँ.
You see, each and every creation is a masterpiece.
हम्म.
Oh
नहीं,
my
but
God.
ये very
हम्म.
nice, Mosi.
हम्म.
The teachers have a very big role to play.
हम्म.
Very big role.
हम्म.
Very big role model. 36, I should read?
हम्म.
Okay.
Okay. अवाच्य वादांश्च बाहुन् वदिष्यन्ति तवाहिता निन्दन निन्दनतस्तव समर्थ्यं tato dukkhataram nukim. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? Purport. Lord Krishna was astonished in the beginning at Arjun's uncalled for plea for compassion, and he described his compassion as befitting the non-Aryans. Now, in so many words, he has proved his statements against Arjun's so-called compassion. See, that is what it is. I mean, leaving your duty is really that is what you see. People used to shame. There was society used to shame people. कि भाई you have left your duty. You have abandoned your duty. You are not taking care of your body. Now, they have really gone the other way around, right? The compassion. No, no, we cannot shame this. We cannot shame that. We cannot shame. No,
Now
this
you
is
see,
really
I
becoming a very
apply
destructive
this
society.
shloka to the teacher. You see, if you see, if karma somebody does his the basic job of teaching casually or not with responsibility, what will happen? That others will use unkind words. They will
Hmm.
unkind and scorn your ability. They will
Hmm.
no, your colleagues and your teachers, whatever they are, but they will at the back they will scorn your ability. They will doubt your abilities, you know, and the
बिल्कुल.
of course you will lose respect. This is what once so that means there is no other alternative but to do your duty with perfection, and that perfection can come only if you dedicate it to the Supreme Lord, not with the idea of getting a reward in
Yes.
return.
Yes.
GIE, there is one more point.
Hmm.
When I am not performing my duty, fine. If others are demeaning me or they are saying bad words, that is another thing. My soul itself will
अरे
not
भाई
like
वाह,
me.
Hmm.
वो तो है भाई, अगर
वरुण
इफ यू
देखो,
आर स्लाइटली
वरुण
डिवोटी होगा तो आप कर ही नहीं सकते हो ये.
basically, Jia ji, actually the thing is that whatever we are doing, it is having a direct impact on my soul. So
Hmm.
if I am not performing my duty, others will say bad things to me. That is another thing. But I myself will not like me. है ना वरुण?
Absolutely,
बिल्कुल,
Mosi. Absolutely,
you will
Mosi.
have
And
that guilty
actually,
feeling.
Yes.
That
एक तो ये है. अच्छा, दूसरी चीज, इट विल कीप यू आर बहुत ही अच्छी चीज. आई लिंक इट टू द अदर श्लोका कि भाई
Hmm,
इट विल कीप हैविंग एन इम्पैक्ट.
hmm,
And but all this impact, cumulative
hmm,
desire and all that, this will get transferred to your next body also.
hmm.
You will this all this it will carry on. You think that okay, after this death तो मेरे को छुटकारा मिलेगा इस all this guilt से. No,
बिल्कुल,
this guilt will carry on with you to the next body. तो
बिल्कुल.
बिल्कुल आपने बहुत अच्छा कहा.
Hmm,
You will incur.
hmm,
अच्छा, नेक्स्ट मैं पढ़ता हूँ, है ना.
47.
hmm.
हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्गम जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यमे महिम तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृत निश्चय. O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up and with determination and fight.
Hmm.
Purport. Even though there was no certainty of victory for Arjun's side, he still had to fight, for even being killed there, he could be elevated into the heavenly planets.
Hmm.
देखो, मैंने जो कहा था ना, भगवान जो है हर तरह से उसको ही इज ट्राइंग टू कन्विंस हिम,
Hmm.
because there is a great dignity in performing your duty.
Hmm.
As your Radha, you have said na,
Hmm.
that guilty feeling you will not be
Hmm.
able to मतलब क्या नाम है, pardon yourself. You will not be
Yes.
able to क्या नाम है, you will not be able to live with yourself.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
चलो तुम पढ़ो
38.
वरुण. हाँ हाँ
38.
हाँ.
सुख दुःखे समे कृत्वा लाभालाभौ जया जयौ ततो युद्धाय युज्यस्व नैवं पापम अवाप्स्यसि. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by so doing, you shall never incur sin. See, if you do your
mm,
prescribed duty, then you will never incur any sin at least.
mm.
See,
Basically, you see, Lord is saying that Nishkam Karm Karo
Yes.
apna.
Uh,
The basic, the underlying fundamental is Nishkam Karm Karo.
yes.
अच्छा पढ़ो
Purport.
purport. हाँ.
Lord Krishna now directly says that Arjun should fight for the sake of fighting because he desires the battle, he being Lord Krishna.
Mm,
There is no consideration of happiness or distress, profit or gain, victory or defeat in the activities of Krishna
Krishna
consciousness.
consciousness.
mm,
That everything should be performed for the sake of Krishna is
mm,
transcendental consciousness. So there is no reaction to material activities. He who acts for his own sense gratification, either in goodness or in
Or
passion,
in passion.
is subject to the reaction, good or bad. But
mm,
he who has completely surrendered himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness is
mm,
no longer obliged to anyone, nor
mm,
is he a debtor to anyone as
mm,
one is in the ordinary course of activities. It is
mm.
said, Deva Rishi Bhutapta Nirnam Pitranam Na Kinkaro Nayam Rini Cha Rajan
Mm,
Sarvatmana Yah Sharanam Sharanayam Gato Mukundam Parihirtya Kartam. Anyone who has completely surrendered unto Krishna Mukunda, giving up all other duties, is no longer a debtor, nor is he obliged to anyone, not the demigods, not the sages, nor the people in general, nor kingsmen, nor humanity, nor forefathers. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.541. That is the indirect hint given by Krishna to Arjun in this verse, and the matter will be more clearly explained in the following verses. Now, by somebody may argue, okay, if you have completely surrendered to Krishna, then you are no longer a debtor, you are no longer obliged to anyone. But if you completely surrender to Krishna, as Arjun is being asked to do, then Lord Krishna himself will tell you you have to do your prescribed duties.
mm,
Lord Krishna himself will inspire you that you have to uphold your duties.
mm,
You have to become an example to others कि भाई
mm,
you have to do duties in Krishna consciousness. So
mm,
इसलिए even surrendering to Lord Krishna does not mean that you abandon your duties. No,
mm,
Lord Krishna himself will then inspire you to do your
mm,
duties. At least that's the way I read it. And
mm,
you have to continue, you have to do it without consideration for happiness or distress, victory or loss. I know, I mean, it is hard, but
mm,
with practice it comes. With
mm,
practice, you continue, it comes.
mm,
39th.
mm,
एषा ते विहिता सांख्ये बुद्धि योगे त्विमा शृणु बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पार्थ कर्म बंध प्रहास्यसि. Thus far I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Now
mm,
listen as I explain it in the terms of working without fruitive results. O son of Pratha, when you
mm,
act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of works.
mm,
Okay. According to the Nirupati or the Vedic dictionary, Sankhya means that which describes things in detail, and Sankhya refers to that philosophy which describes the real nature of the soul. And yoga involves controlling the senses. Arjuna's proposal not to fight was based on sense gratification. Okay.
mm,
Forgetting his prime duty, he wanted to cease fighting because he thought that by not killing his relatives and kinsmen, he would be happier than by enjoying the kingdom after
mm,
conquering his cousins and brothers, the sons of Dhritarashtra. In both ways, the basic principle were for the sense gratification, correct? Happiness derived from conquering them and happiness derived from seeing kinsmen alive are both on the basis of personal sense gratification. Even
mm,
at a sacrifice of wisdom and duty, Krishna therefore wanted to explain to Arjun that by killing the body of his grandfather, he would not be killing the soul proper, And he explained that all individual persons, including the Lord himself, are eternal individuals. They were individuals in the past, they are individuals in the present, and they will continue to remain individuals in the future, because
mm,
all of us are individual souls eternally. We simply change our bodily dress in different manners, but actually we keep our individuality even after liberation from the bondage of material dress. An analytical study of the soul and the body has very graphically explained by Lord Krishna. This
mm,
descriptive knowledge of the soul and the body from different angles of vision has been described here as Sankhya in terms of the Nirukti dictionary. The
mm,
Sankhya has nothing to do with the Sankhya philosophy of the atheist Kapil.
mm,
Long before the impostor Kapil's Sankhya, the Sankhya philosophy was expounded in the Srimad Bhagavatam by true Lord Kapila, the incarnation of Lord Krishna, who explained it to his mother Devhuti. It is clearly explained by him that the Purusha or the Supreme Lord is active and that he creates by looking over the Prakriti. This is accepted in the Vedas and the Gita. The
mm,
description in the Vedas indicate that the Lord glanced over the Prakriti or nature and impregnated it with the atomic individual souls. All these
mm,
individuals are working in the material world for sense gratification. And under the spell of material energy, they are thinking of being enjoyers. This mentality is dragged to the last point of liberation when the living entity wants to become one with the Lord.
mm,
This is the last snare of Maya or the sense gratificatory illusion. And it
mm,
is only after many, many births of such sense gratification activities that a great soul surrenders unto Vasudeva, Lord Krishna,
mm,
thereby fulfilling the search after the ultimate truth.
mm,
Arjuna has already accepted Krishna as his spiritual master by surrendering himself unto him. Shishyate ham sadhi mam tvam parapanam. Consequently, Krishna will now tell him about the working process in Buddhi Yoga or Karma Yoga.
mm,
Or, in other words, the practice of devotional service only for the sense gratification of the Lord.
mm,
So, this is Buddhi Yoga. Okay.
mm,
The practice of devotional service only for the sense gratification of the Lord. Okay.
mm,
The Buddhi Yoga is clearly explained in chapter 10, verse 10,
mm,
as being direct communication with the Lord, who is
mm,
sitting as Paramatma in everyone's heart. But such communication does not take place without devotional service. One who is therefore situated in the devotional or transcendental loving service to the Lord, or in other words, the Krishna consciousness, attains to this stage, Buddhi Yoga, or the special grace of the Lord. The Lord says, therefore, that only to those who are always engaged in devotional service out of transcendental love does He award the pure knowledge of devotion in love. In
mm,
that way, the devotees can reach Him easily in the ever blissful kingdom of God.
mm,
Thus, Buddhi Yoga mentioned in this verse is the devotional service of the Lord. And the word Sankhya mentioned herein has nothing to do with the atheistic Sankhya Yoga enunciated by impostor Kapil.
mm,
One should not therefore misunderstand that the Sankhya Yoga mentioned herein has any connection with the atheistic Sankhya.
mm,
Nor did that philosophy have any influence during that time, nor would
mm,
Lord Krishna care to mention such godless philosophical speculations.
mm,
Real Sankhya philosophy is described by Lord Kapila in the Srimad Bhagavatam, but even the Sankhya has nothing to do with the current topics.
mm,
Here, Sankhya means analytical description of the body and the soul. Lord Krishna made an analytical description of the soul just to bring Arjun to the point of Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga.
mm,
Therefore, Lord Krishna Sankhya and Lord Kapila Sankhya, as described in the Bhagavatam, are one and the same. They are Bhakti Yoga. Lord Krishna said, therefore, that only the less intelligent class of men make a distinction between Sankhya Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Sankhya Yoga Pratyog Bala Baravanti Na Padintya. Of course, atheistic Sankhya Yoga has nothing to do with the Bhakti Yoga. Yet the unintelligent claim that the atheistic Sankhya Yoga is referred to in the Bhagavad Gita. One should therefore understand that Buddhi Yoga means to work in Krishna consciousness in the full bliss and knowledge of the devotional service. One who works for the satisfaction of Lord only, however difficult such work may be, is working under the principles of Buddhi Yoga and finds himself always in the transcendental bliss. यहाँ पर इन्होंने बिल्कुल बुद्धि योगा को एक्सप्लेन कर दिया है. बुद्धि योगा को क्या नाम है, और the person who is doing the क्या नाम है devotional service is in Buddhi Yoga.
Is Buddhi, is in Buddhi.
Yeah, that is the Buddhi Yoga. और जो इन्होंने यहाँ पर ये कहा है ना, जो ये चैप्टर 10 का वर्स 10, यू सी चैप्टर 10 का वर्स 10 जो है वो नथिंग बट चतुर्श्लोकी गीता का 3rd वर्स है, जो हम लोग अब अगले बार करने जा रहे हैं.
Yes,
that has got a very great bearing about बुद्धि योगा, है ना. तो that part is very very important. मैंने कहा जरा सा उसको अभी कनेक्शन बता देता हूँ. By such transcendental engagement, one achieves all transcendental understanding automatically by the grace of the Lord. यही आएगा उसमें 10:10 में, यही आएगा exactly. And thus his liberation is complete in itself without his making extraneous endeavors to acquire knowledge. You see, once you are in Krishna consciousness, you are doing duties in Krishna consciousness, you have already achieved Buddhi Yoga.
Yes.
Because Lord has given you the buddhi. Khatam baat, case closed. There is much difference between work in Krishna consciousness and work for fruitive results. Especially in the matter of sense gratification for achieving results in terms of family or material happiness. Buddhi yoga is therefore the transcendental quality of work that we perform. See, Buddhi yoga is not something that Lord is giving you कि भाई तुम और पढ़ लो वेदा और पढ़ लो, nothing like that. He is just giving you that knowledge which will make you come back to him. उसके लिए आपको पढ़ा लिखा होने की और इसकी मतलब वो नहीं है यार. That is not the, you see.
अच्छा, ये चीज और another thing which stuck to me, but you finish then I'll tell.
नहीं मैं हाँ
one thing that struck to me was, you see, these days there is a lot of philosophy, lot of people who are all the time they keep thinking, oh, I can become God. या तो first they claim that they are God, या फिर you keep doing enough yoga, you keep doing enough meditation, then they become like God. They become like God-like powers. That is the ultimate snare of Maya or sense gratificatory illusion. Why? Right? Becoming like God is the most powerful. Then you can enjoy all type of things. You can do all types of opulence, enjoy all types of opulences. That definitely is the ultimate sense gratification. That is why all these people all these different types of philosophers, जो modern age के philosophers है ना, they try to give all this. Oh no, you do meditation, then you can become something very, something very very great, connected to God. You can become like God. Yeah, that is all sense gratificatory. We have to become servants of God. In this Vaishnava philosophy, we have to become, the Lord is the enjoyer, we are the enjoyed. He is the master, we are the servant. We have to serve him in these various capacities. In what capacities? By doing our duty. Like Arjun is being asked to do duty. Similarly, like we have our duties by as a parents, as maybe as like teacher, like Mosi is saying, maybe like in work position. But the idea, that's what I see, because I think they've created a lot of chaos, these new age modern philosophers. No, you do enough
most of them are
meditation.
मतलब how to enhance sense gratification. mostly.
Then
Hmm.
Hmm. आज क्या मतलब you are not well at all, क्या नाम है? I think you are
Hmm.
down
यही
with
बहुत
flu or
ज्यादा,
what?
बहुत ज्यादा।
नहीं, you are in मतलब तुम्हारे को लगता है I think you are running fever, I suppose.
यही बस केवल कोल्ड है,
हम्म
बोल नहीं पा रही हूँ ज्यादा।
नहीं नहीं वो तो ठीक है, लेकिन क्या नाम है ये है कि अब भाई
मेडिसिन है बिल्कुल यही।
उसके अलावा मतलब भाप वगैरह लेना ज्यादा यूजफुल होगा।
hmm.
जी जी जी।
हाँ,
जीजा
इट
जी
विल
पहले इस
दैट इज द
टॉपिक को
बेस्ट
डिस्कस कर ले।
है है
जीजा जी इस टॉपिक को समराइज कर ले पहले।
हाँ,
हाँ
टॉपिक हो गया, बस लास्ट वर्ष है। आगे वाली जो नेक्स्ट वर्ष है ना, ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट वर्ष है।
हाँ
आई
उसको फिर नेक्स्ट
अगर
टाइम के
आई
लिए
डोंट वांट टू, क्या नाम है मतलब
या रश इट,
वो जरा सा
आई
थोड़ा
डोंट
सा,
थिंक।
यस,
बिल्कुल
वेरी
बिल्कुल।
वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट वर्ष
हाँ। जीजा जी
है ना।
इसमें एक बार जो हम लोगों ने इतना पढ़ा है ना, इसको थोड़ा सा
हम्म
समराइज कर ले।
तो आई वुड डू इट, क्या नाम है मतलब
हाँ हाँ
यहाँ पर जो है ना
जी
भाई, एक तो भगवान जो है ना, जहां तक मुझे समझ में आता है कि
जी जी।
भगवान जो है ना उनको अर्जुन को एक्सटॉर्ट कर रहे हैं कि भाई
हम्म,
तुम जो है ना एक पहले तो उन्होंने शुरू शुरू में तो उन्होंने मतलब सारा समझाया कि भाई बॉडी और सोल जो है ना, सोल
हम्म,
इज इंडेस्ट्रक्टिबल, मतलब सोल
हम्म,
एटर्नल है और बॉडी टेम्परेरी है, इट इज
हम्म,
पेरिशेबल। तो इस
हम्म,
बात को समझाने की कोशिश की कई तरीके से कि
हम्म,
भाई तुम मतलब यू विल नॉट बी किलिंग द्रोणाचार्य, क्या नाम है,
हम्म,
या इनको, यू विल बी ओनली किलिंग देयर बॉडीज, इस लेवल पे
हम्म,
समझाया।
हम्म,
उसके बाद उन्होंने अब उसको समझाया
इन
सोसाइटल लेवल
इंग्लिश
पे कि
आई
क्या
थिंक,
होने वाला है। हाँ,
हम्म,
डू इट इन इंग्लिश।
ही इज स्टार्टेड कर में एक्सप्लेनिंग कि हाउ इट विल अफेक्ट हिज रेपुटेशन,
हाँ
how it will affect his prestige in the society, how
हाँ
he will be looked down upon,
हम्म,
which we can start seeing in our context. If you start running away from your
हम्म,
duties, how the
हम्म,
society will also look at you.
हम्म,
You see, they may not be disrespectful, they may not,
हम्म,
but
हम्म,
behind your back or in the society, you will be known as a sharkar.
हम्म,
You might be known among the people that teacher is useless. Can I mean
yes,
that it is a waste of time to attend
हम्म,
his or her class.
हम्म,
Otherwise, if a teacher, can I mean, does his or her duty very very, can I mean, sincerely, can I mean, by
हम्म,
dedicating it to the Supreme Lord for
हम्म,
his judgment, then you will see the students will come to a stage when they will come to the school only to attend that teacher's class.
हम्म,
It can happen, it will happen,
हम्म, yes,
many times I have seen it. Many
yes,
students go to attend a particular professor's lecture only.
हम्म,
Not just that, by people after in their mid age, 40s, 30s, they recollect, oh, I had that teacher that had a huge impact on me.
हम्म,
What that teacher had
हम्म,
said. No, no,
हम्म,
go ahead.
Or even one simple sentence uttered by you with the mercy of the Lord can
हम्म,
change a soul's
They in their
life.
life.
yes,
It can change the life journey of that child, you know.
हम्म,
So and Kaname, now he has come on the platform of Buddhi Yoga, which is
हम्म,
very very important.
हम्म,
He has, I don't want to go into that Sankhya philosophy of atheist Kapil and all that,
हम्म,
but the best part is that he is telling that doing your job in pure Krishna consciousness, that means
हम्म,
dedicating all your work to Lord only, you will
हम्म,
get the buddhi necessary
हम्म,
for your salvation,
हम्म,
and it will be that duty will bring fruits, they will be fruitful for overall, because once it is for the happiness of the Lord, where it says now that
Hmm.
you work for the sense gratification of the satisfying the senses of the Supreme Lord, not your senses,
हम्म,
but you do work
हम्म,
to satisfy the senses of the Supreme Lord. I mean, I
yes,
find it very potent, that
हम्म,
once you start realizing that I am teaching and the Lord is watching my performance.
हम्म,
I mean, he is happy, he is smiling,
yes,
he is seeing that yes, this is my child who is doing such a good work.
Hmm.
Your entire bearing will change.
Hmm.
By you, when you start feeling the presence of God,
Yes.
matlab that he is trying to help you into
Hmm.
succeed. He is
Hmm.
wanting you to go in a particular. You will start talking to him.
Yes.
I feel, you know.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
this is it. And
I
abhi
wanted to add one thing.
next
I
and
wanted
then
to add one thing, but we'll
uh,
conclude.
next verse will be very very kind words of the Lord Shri Krishna.
हाँ.
Next verse
Hmm.
is fantastic. So we will
Hmm.
discuss it next time. Ha, tum Varun, you were
Okay.
wanting to say something.
The
Ha.
only thing, last thing I was going to say was that I feel the Lord is he's like a very benevolent father. He wants really great thing for us. He wants glory for us. He
Hmm.
wants us to, you see, the Arjun, he's trying to save Arjun. He wants
Hmm.
Arjun to get the glory
Hmm.
rather than fall to in infamy and fall to ignominy, sorry,
Hmm.
fall to ignominy and ridicule. Rather than he's trying to save him from that, and it's like a father who wants the best for you. That's what I see, like
Hmm.
Lord Krishna wants the
No,
best for you at the soul
that
level also, and at the spiritual level also, and at the material level also. Like, okay, people should then look at you and feel ki, bhai, yes, that is a very honorable person, that's a very
Hmm.
glorious person. He
Hmm.
wants glory for us.
Hmm.
no,
That's
not
it.
only
Go ahead,
that, bhai,
Papa.
you see, you know, we are the children of God. We are his
Hmm.
mame vansho. We are his ansh.
Hmm.
So if he has extreme love for us.
Hmm.
And you see, his punishment is also like a punishment of a loving father who wants
Hmm.
his
Hmm.
child to succeed.
Hmm.
So, if you have that kind of feelings towards your father,
Hmm.
then you see the relation, then you have really understood the relationship, and
Yes.
you will never do a wrong thing. You
Hmm.
will never do the wrong thing. And
Hmm.
as Varun is saying, you will find happiness in this world and next world.
Next
Yes.
word also.
I think this is the sum and sum
Hmm.
total of it. Okay.
Hmm.
I think,
Yeah.
but you please get well soon. और कोई मतलब
Yes,
you
yes,
can
Masi.
always watch. Yeah, but it is great. तुम्हारे आने
Hmm.
की वजह
Yes.
से ये I think it has proceeded towards 1 hour.
Really enhanced. Yes,
नहीं
yes,
ये
हाँ
इससे
truly.
खुद लगता है.
हाँ नहीं नहीं it is a really मतलब it is a great effort मतलब being not unwell really not unwell and yet
Hmm.
Hmm.
so that is the
Coming for this,
that is
Masi.
yeah something very very great.
लेकिन धीरे जी
Anyway,
आज का जो था ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट था जितना उन्होंने डिफाइन किया है सब.
अरे भाई ये जो है
Masi,
ना ये
definitely.
सेकंड चैप्टर every time you will read
Yes.
Bhagavad Gita na
हाँ,
it will give you
बिल्कुल.
insights. है ना? You see, we can read it as many times. But anyway, we are improving, I
जी
think.
धीरे जी यहाँ पे एक चीज देखिए कि गॉड हम
Hmm.
लोग को इतना प्यार करते हैं कि कितनी तरह से वो हम लोग को समझाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं हर तरह
Hmm.
लेवल पे
Oh
समझ.
yes.
Hmm.
He is a
Truly.
benevolent father, bhai. He is
Yes.
a benevolent father.
जी.
He is not here. You see, somebody will say that how can a father want his son to die?
हाँ.
No, you can't. That is what is the great thing. You see,
Yeah.
that is what if a real father will never want his army officer son to
हाँ.
not go on the battlefront and declare himself the sick.
हम्म.
See, when the call of duty comes, he will never
हम्म.
do that. He will say, "Nahi,
हम्म.
bhai, you have to go and fight."
हम्म.
You see,
यस.
yeah, you have to see that
समझा
part.
रहे हैं.
और धीरज जी
Sometimes.
इसके प्यार का लेवल ही दूसरा है.
बहुत
है
बहुत
कि नहीं?
भैया भगवान बहुत लेवल डिफरेंट है. बिल्कुल सही कह
हाँ
रही है
लेवल
मौसी.
डिफरेंट है.
बहुत समझा रहे हैं वो.
बिल्कुल.
हर तरह से समझा भी
हर
रहे हैं,
तरह से
एनकरेज
समझा
भी
रहे हैं.
कर रहे हैं, एंथुजियाज्म भी दे रहे हैं. हर
बिल्कुल.
तरह से कि
हम्म.
तुम करो
What?
यार.
Who can be a better motivator? You see,
हम्म.
And which other help book is better than Bhagavad Gita? You tell me.
अरे
Yes.
अरे भैया,
You can never have, Karama. You see, each and every shloka,
भाई
if you
मैं पापा से we were discussing, there is no other demigod who comes with
Mm.
you. Only Lord Krishna comes with you as Paramatma in your
हाँ,
heart.
Yes.
ये हम लोग
He
आज
is
शाम को
there with
डिस्कस करें.
your, you may not accept it, but he is still there with you in all your troubles and happiness. He is there with you. Only Lord Krishna is like that. No other
He is
demigod
there
is
with
like
you
that.
as a Paramatma, right
As a
with you all
Paramatma,
the
he is
time.
there.
Only thing
Yes.
is that you are not looking at him.
No,
So
not
you
looking at
are
him.
looking towards Maya. You are you are full of the moment you turn towards him, the things will start changing.
Yes.
But Mosi, please take care. You take
हाँ.
rest.
हाँ भाई
Take
वो दैट इज
enough. यहाँ पे तो ये कहते हैं you keep on getting lot of clear fluid जैसे water. Keep taking
हाँ.
lot of water.
warm
You will not
water.
get
हाँ
fever.
हाँ हाँ
You will not
warm
get
water.
fever.
Don't take cold water at all.
And take a lot of rest as much as possible. And
Mm.
yeah, you- but
Mm.
keep drinking water so that it
Yes,
will flush
I
out.
will.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
हाँ.
तो हरे कृष्णा करके वो
हाँ,
हाँ.
हाँ, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Thank you all.